with learning about seasonal strategies with TA, InventoryLab, and SmartRepricer. So I am Julie, and I am here to talk a little bit about tactical arbitrage. We've got Jeff from InventoryLab, and we have Beryl from SmartRepricer. So we are here to talk about kind of coming into the season, using the different tools to help you maximize your profits, make some money through the holidays and beyond, and how you can use them all together. Feel free to drop any questions that you have on the side. We will try to either answer them as we go along or do a Q&A at the end. We definitely like some interaction and just kind of have an open conversation and dialogue. I guess we can start by introducing ourselves a little bit more. Beryl, do you want to start by talking about yourself a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live stream again. I'm Beryl. I'm working as a community manager in Trickles, especially for self-running and SmartRepricer side. And today I will be talking about SmartRepricer and how you can leverage it for strategic pricing in this peak season, let's say. And feel free to drop your questions in the comments. Thank you.
All right, Jeff, you want to go ahead?
Sure. Yeah, I'm Jeff with InventoryLab. I'm the customer engagement coordinator. And so, yeah, I've been here 8 years, started in support, and here we are. So thanks for having us.
Thanks, Jeff. Jeff sends us the lovely messages and through the accounts a lot of times and helps with our learning and working through. So that's a huge help. I am Julie. I'm here with Tactical Arbitrage. I've been with TA since I think 2017, so for a while. And then I lead the support and the success team over at Three Colts. So I guess we're going to start. Sorry, I had a slight distraction, nobody else, but my husband calls right at the time that we're starting. I think they ring it off, but anyway, like, no, I'm on a live stream today. Oh, that doesn't matter. So anyway, I thought we'd jump in and we'll do some screen shares and talk about some. I'll go through some product search and some reverse search. Apologies for the hoarse voice on occasion. I am working through a cold, so pretty much done, but it's still there. All right, so let's go ahead and start some screen share. Okay, so we will come in on the product search page. Although I guess even before we kind of go into the product search, I'll leave that there, but let's talk about, I guess, kind of coming into the holidays and some of the things that we want to look for, as we're the end of October, we're coming into November, coming into the holiday season. Obviously, Black Friday is coming up. We talk about a little bit on how to shop for Black Friday. I believe kind of the Amazon has the deadline. I don't know if you know these a little bit better even than I do, Jeff, with shipping and things like that. I think they recommend by November 1st if you want your products there for Black Friday.
Right.
And so we don't have a whole lot of time between getting that done between now and then, but we can talk through, I guess, sourcing on Black Friday. And, I'd like to talk about that kind of going into the new year as well, because there's, of course, the holiday rush, but then we want to get through coming into after the holidays. Do you have some more insights on the shipping and any other timelines? Sorry to put you on the spot. We didn't talk about that before. Jeff, as far as what needs to be in by when?
Yeah, I mean, you have, they do have some things where you need to get it to certain shippers, some of the selling partners like UPS, for example. But the Prime Day is the big one, and you want to make sure that those products are in before, with plenty of time to get them checked into the fulfillment center. Everybody knows that at Q4, everything slows down, and I just had my light fall. So, wouldn't be a live stream without something like that happening, I guess. So,
Yep.
But, like, for example, if, they're large items, December 21st is kind of the cutoff for ordering that. So, but you want to make sure they're in well before Christmas. Like you mentioned, Prime Day. Sorry, I got distracted with my light falling off and hitting me on the foot. So.
Is that something you purchased on Prime Day?
A couple of years ago, I probably should have double checked it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's, I guess, one of the things to think about too is as far as when you're doing online arbitrage, especially, you want to try and get the free shipping as often as possible, but it's also a time of year where you might want to think about, throwing in a few extra dollars for some, hurried shipping to get to you a little faster
Right.
so that you can get your products in as quickly as possible. And that's Jeff will talk a little bit more in a little bit too about how to use InventoryLab to get those products in as quickly as possible. And so you can beat the race to the bottom that nobody wants to be a part of at the holiday season.
Yeah.
So some of the
wanna
things to
avoid
think
that.
about, I guess, sourcing. Obviously, it's a big time coming up for toys and looking at toys, but the holidays can also be a good time for home goods. Thinking about gifts that you would want to give to people and sending those in, and that, which isn't just toys. You can have blankets. It's also seasonal. Vacations will be coming up, so although it might not seem like swimsuit season it's going to be coming. Workout season is going to be coming up. That's coming into January. And so as we're coming into sales and deals, it's a good time to think ahead as well as the inventory that you might want to have. And InventoryLab has something called, is it Unlisted Inventory, Jeff? So
Right.
that if you see some of these things and maybe you don't want to send them in, if you tell us a little bit more about how that works.
Sure. Yeah. So we normally have the FBA and merchant fulfilled inventory pages that we import directly from Seller Central. We added, I think it was a couple of years ago, a third page, which is unlisted inventory. And with unlisted inventory, you can put in all of your buy cost information for the inventory you purchase. You can tag it. Maybe you're selling on eBay and you want to tag some items eBay. So when you go to search your unlisted inventory, you can find those easily. And you can also tag storage locations. So if you're storing it at your home or garage or maybe warehouse even, you could tag it with bin numbers and those sorts of things. But where it really works well is with the seasonal items. After the season's ended, Thanksgiving or Christmas coming up, you can get some great discounts on these items. If there are items that you want to record the sale or the purchase of to get your buy cost and purchase price and all of that entered, but you don't necessarily want to send it into Amazon because you want to avoid those long-term storage fees. So you put it in unlisted inventory, keep track of it, and then when it's time to send those items in, you can just search for the tagged items, for example, Christmas, and then you can send all of those products into Amazon. So yeah, I can share once it gets to we get into my section, I'll show you exactly what that looks like with unlisted inventory. But it does a lot to save, keep you organized. You don't have to look for receipts a year later. How much did I pay for that?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of stuff. You've already entered it. So
Yeah, that's super helpful. I know I haven't been actively selling for a little bit now, but I still have stuff that I could send in at some point. But the idea of going through and finding my receipts or like how much
yeah,
did because it's sitting there because the price changed and it wasn't effective to send it in, although it's probably still would make me more money to send it in and just get rid of it than it is in my basement. But it would be nice, the idea of listing it, how much was that I paid for, and digging that all up seems a big feat, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
So that's a nice feature for that. All right, so let's go in and talk a little bit about, I guess I started going to product search and, what you want to go through or how you want to get started finding items. I'll come back up, share the product search tab. So we talked a little bit about coming up into Black Friday and looking at ads. TA also has, or one of the things I guess you want to do is make sure that you're getting coupons and potentially using gift cards and things like that. And we do have a resource, I had it up, sorry, but I lost it, called TA Coupons. So when you're looking for an item, you can use, it's tacoupons.com, where you can go in and look for coupons for different items that you find. So you can either look here and then pop the discounts into TA, or if you find an item that you like, come here and look and see if there's discounts so that you're maximizing, obviously the purchase price and getting it as low as possible. And the other
That's
way,
a great resource.
yeah, we just added this recently so we can go, that people, and it's updated regularly. And so you have one place to go. I know that there's a bunch of other resources as well, but be able to go to tacoupons.com and finding them, getting the codes right here. that will be available for you. Another thing you want to make sure to do is use gift cards. I don't know if anybody uses these. I use these as well. Well, not just for shopping here, but also in like other things when I'm maybe even doing hotel stays and stuff like that. But using like Raise or Card Cash, I think Gift Card Granny still is out there as a place where you can go and buy a gift card, like a $100 gift card for $80. So you get a significant discount just right there off the top. And then, of course, there's cashback sites. There's Rakuten, that's how you say it. That used to be Ebates. That's where top cashback as well. So you can go and get additional cashback, which is nice. Maybe after the holidays, you want to take a little vacation. You kind of have the extra cash coming back from those sources. Thank you, Andy. Talking about loving the crossover. Yes, it's awesome to be able to have this between TA and InventoryLab and going back and forth between them. Okay, so let's go in and go into product search. So for product search, a couple of different ways you can start as far as looking for websites. You can look at all of them. We've got popular, recently fixed or added, and discover. I mean, obviously very popular during the holiday season is going to be your Walmarts, your Targets, your Kohl's, because they're always doing the deals. But there's a lot of other things to discover in different sites. And this Discover will show you some different sites that maybe you haven't heard of. Like, I'm not sure what Ashford is. So these are sites that are not as scanned as much. So we can go in, start a scan, do a select all, add to bulk. We're going to come down and use some filters, basic filters that will, just for basic OA search, you remove the out of stock items. I usually keep the profit at only about $3. With online arbitrage, you usually want to start a little bit lower so you can go wider in your results. So you have more items to choose from. Plus, it's a great opportunity to use like auto updates and notifications so that when items go on sale, you can be notified instead of wiping those results out altogether. So 3 might not be the ideal number, but it gives you quite a bit of wiggle room then to work with. We want to see Amazon out of stock results, and then also showing results from other sources, UPC sites, and title images. And by showing the reverse search of other sources, it will also give you ideas of other sites to source from, like other sites you didn't even know that sold those products.
Right.
So you go in and use that reverse search to help learn more about where to find those products too. So another item I want to talk a little bit about also using TA even for retail arbitrage. And Jeff, we can talk a little bit about, if you want to jump in and talk about Scoutify and things like that too.
Sure. Yeah.
But TA can be used. Let's say you want to go to. I need to start a new search. Getting excited, getting ahead of myself. We're going to delete the easy bulk. Deleting the easy bulk clears it for the next search. So sometimes people get a little confused in this and are afraid to clear it. But once your scan is started, all settings, all data, everything is with the scan and going. So unless you want to scan the same categories again, you want to delete them, just get them out. You can also save them if you want to rerun that scan later, but otherwise you want to start with a clean slate. But I did it again. There we go. One of the filters, or one of the ways to think about if you wanted to try more retail arbitrage, I don't need college. Oh, where did my toys go? Kids clothing. You'll notice that some of the items as I'm going through, some of these categories are grayed out. So when you go through and select easy bulk, you can only select up to 500 categories at one time. So if you select too many and the math gets up to 500, then you won't be able to select all of them.
Ah, okay.
So that's why it was, you saw some of those grayed out. So,
Right.
Target has quite a few categories to choose from. So you won't be able to necessarily choose all of them. Do they have a separate holiday? Oh, we got the holiday shop. Definitely want to go in the holiday shop. And let's go there and add to bulk. So normally when you're doing these scans, you would remove the out of stock products. But it's actually, if you want to go and shop at like your local store and maybe find products that are out of stock online, but available locally, you could keep this off and make sure that you're seeing the out of stock products, and then go into your, I guess when you go to like the Target website, look at your local store and see if you see those products locally that aren't available online. And that can give you a definite edge on, finding products that other people can't find because they might not have them at their local store and they're not available online. So that is definitely a time that you'd want to turn off the out of stock products so that you can use that for a retail arbitrage opportunity. Another item for looking at specific holiday items is we do have this seasonal buy box. So in the calculations, you can choose a date range. You could do less 7, 14, 30, or you could do a custom range. So if you want to look at, say, how some products sold last year between November and December, if you don't want to go that far, probably November 1 through Christmas, you could apply it and then see how products sold just during that time frame and use the average buy box price to see the results on that, because obviously we can see that there's a lot of fluctuations in that time. This is also, I guess, something to keep in mind too, going, after the holidays. But if you want to see that price range really specifically during the holiday season, was this a good seller last year at this time? This is a great tool to be able to get those calculations and the results that show you at that time.
So it shows the average buy box over that time period?
It gives the average price during that time period.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's nice, because I know on the Keepa, you're getting specific buy boxes, but a lot of times it's going up and down so much. So seeing that average is nice.
Yes. Yes. And be able to get that in the results. And then the results, just as we're going in through the holidays, we do have the option to show buy box. And then there's also the average 30 days and average 90-day price too, just to keep in mind if we want to, if you want a little bit of a wider scope of where that price has been rather than the current buy box. Because again, during the holidays, I think pricing can get a little crazy at times, and you don't know how long some of that pricing is going to last. So it's nice to be able to get that 30 days or 90-day average as well. And I don't know, Jeff, do you want to jump in and talk about a little bit about Scoutify, I guess, with retail arbitrage?
Sure. Yeah, we have as part of your subscription or trial, you can use Scoutify, which is the mobile sourcing app on iOS or Android. And basically it works like the Amazon seller app that everybody probably starts with on their phone. But it gives you a lot more information as far as, if you're approved in certain categories, maybe there's hazmat issues. You want to make sure you see those items right away so you can skip over them. But it's also tied into your inventory in InventoryLab. So you'll know if you've sold that item before or how much you have in stock already. If you're sourcing a lot of items, sometimes it's easy to get confused. Oh, did I already buy this? Oh yeah, I have 100 of these already. Maybe you don't want to buy any more of that. So you're going to get those indicators. And then you can build a buy list using Scoutify. And with that buy list, you can list directly from that buy list into Stratify, the desktop app, and create your batch to send in to Amazon. You could also export it as a CSV or email it to yourself. But we have a direct connection now as well. So it makes it really easy to add to a batch that you have open or even create a new batch. And a batch is what we call an InventoryLab, which I'll demo later. It's where you put all of the items you're going to send into Amazon, and then you create your shipments from the batch. So, but it makes it pretty handy. It scans just like this seller app, so and get you all the same information, but it's a little bit more because it's tied into your main InventoryLab account.
And so I guess with that, with the InventoryLab and what you're saying with that, you have the ability to download, I guess, your inventory or other things in there, right, into like a CSV file.
Right.
And then that gives like, I guess, the ASIN and the UPC.
Right. Yeah, you can customize those with, it'll give you the full information from your inventory pages in that CSV format.
So that would be
details.
I'm just going to steal it back for a minute. So that would definitely be something that we could use into TA on the reverse search side.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a great tie in there.
Or if you've used, if you had items that sold last year during the holidays that you knew were hot sellers and you're trying to find those items again, you could take that CSV and then upload it into the tactical arbitrage reverse search, which would help you find those products at the different retail sites that TA has.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great use of using both
Yeah.
software applications to get those profitable items again.
That's awesome. My computer's a little slow, so I was going to try and pull that up, but let's see.
It also works the reverse. When you get a list of items that you want to sell, you can export those items from TA as CSV, I'm assuming, right? You can export.
Yep, you can export it as a CSV. Yes.
Yeah, then you can just import that right into InventoryLab, create your batch, and ship your items. So it works both ways there. So
that could definitely help with the speed of shipping during the holiday season
Right.
too. So you can download that data and then put that right in your InventoryLab to help you list it quickly.
Yep, it's all about efficiency. The faster you get those products in, the sooner they'll
Yes,
sell. So
exactly. And that's a big part of the edge, especially
Right.
the holiday season. I mean, any time of year, but the holidays things just start moving so fast, and you need to be able to move fast with them.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's see if I can get this to share. Sorry, I was just on the computer.
Especially with all the built-in delays with Amazon in Q4,
Yes,
it just
you want
slows
that edge
down.
as much as possible.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about is in the reverse product search. So we were in product search where we were looking at retail sites to find products to sell. But in the reverse search, this is where you could do keywords, which I actually did a keyword search earlier. I did the search for the word holiday. And then I did holiday, and then I used that seasonal buy box to show me items, during the Christmas season. I mean, because you could use it for any holiday in theory, but I was looking at items maybe that were good sellers last year to help me get some ideas of things to maybe sell this year, or retail sites to scan that have different holiday items. So that's a keyword search. You can search seller products here. So just as a quick note, if there's somebody whose storefront sells well, you could pop in their seller ID and have TA will look through their inventory and trying to find those products at other retail sites. So products that are selling well, and then try to find those at other retailers. Same thing with best sellers, most wish, movers and shakers, and a brand page. But if we wanted to use like your InventoryLab CSV, you could import bulk product codes, and then from here you'd upload or import the file. And all you need is UPC or ASIN, and then you could upload that into TA, and then set some filters, and then that's where TA would reverse search all of the TA domains to try and find those products at their retail sites. So that's a great crossover between the two.
Yeah, that's a great use of both tools.
All right, so I think I'm going to pause a little bit and maybe hand it over, Jeff, if you want to continue on a little bit, or Beryl, I don't know if you've had anything to pop in. I know we haven't included you much yet as far as getting kind of some of your repricing strategies as well to help out.
Yeah, it's okay. I can proceed with SmartRepricer.
Okay.
So today I would like to emphasize the strategies part of SmartRepricer, especially like how to use those strategies in the peak season. It's called season, but actually it may affect your entire year as an e-commerce seller, because when you adjust your strategies accordingly, it may benefit you for the rest of the year. But you need to be very competitive. You need to keep an eye on your competitors while determining your strategies and adjusting your prices. And it's simple, but it's not really that easy because you need to do your work while your competitors are also doing their work. And this might be a struggle, like doing everything manually, and think about the strategies, doing the manual work. This is a bit struggle. And here comes the SmartRepricer actually that does the work for you. That basically saves you time and effort, prevents you from manual tracking and manual pricing. And for those who are not really familiar with SmartRepricer, I would also like to introduce the product. That's an Amazon repricing tool for FBM and FBA sellers that allows users to automate their strategies and boost their profits. And I would like to show you how it looks. Let me share my screen quickly.
It seems like if you have a lot of products, a repricer is kind of a must-have. It seems like, because I wouldn't want to do all that manually.
Right, keeping track of
Yeah.
all those products and all the
Right.
pricing and all the
Yeah.
shifts in the pricing with how
Yeah.
fast things move.
Yes.
And to make sure you
Especially.
stay competitive, but not like get tanked down.
Yep.
Sorry, just
And to try and make sure that you can maintain the buy box,
second.
because that also gets tricky. Because as we know, if your price gets too high, nobody gets the buy box, or you don't get the buy box. So there is no buy box.
Yeah.
I know as a buyer that irritates me. Like, how do I buy it? Like,
It
but when
is.
Amazon thinks the price is
Yeah.
too
It's pretty
high,
annoying.
it
It's pretty
is.
annoying.
Like, even as
Yeah.
a buyer, just let me buy it. It's
Yeah.
okay. I'll pay the convenience.
Especially as a seller, if you look at the page and you don't see the buy box, and it's like, well, I know there's some in stock. How do I find out how to buy? Yeah. So,
Right. How do I get it?
Yep.
You can see my screen, right?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Oh, here it
There we
comes.
go.
There it goes.
Okay. Okay, so this is a dashboard. Like this is the main page when you when you log into Treacalls. That's the main page, and this is the summary of everything basically. Like your active products, inactive products, your current buyback situation, and everything. You can track your performance here, and you can find all the sections on the left hand side. It's actually pretty simple and user friendly, I guess. And if you're new, if you just created your SmartRepricer account, first thing you need to do is to connect your marketplace here. That's kind of a test account. You can see the test marketplaces here. You need to connect your marketplaces, and you can do it for multiple marketplaces actually. And then you need to set your prices, like minimum and maximum price, and also costs from uploads part. And as a little detail, actually, if you're a seller running user, let me go to integrations. Seller running is also a cross-border arbitrage tool, a dropshipping software that you can use. And we have this integration with seller running. And if you're a user already, you can integrate your account here. You can just simply connect here your seller running account, and the like prices and the costs, they will be transferred from your seller running account here. But if you are not a seller running user, or if you're a FBA user, you will just upload them with an Excel file here simply. There's this template that you can download, and you will fill your information in the Excel file, and you need to upload it here. Then you are ready to go. And after that, you need to set your strategy to start your pricing journey. And that's the good part of SmartRepricer. Here are some also examples here. Uh, but for creating strategy, there are two ways in SmartRepricer. Either you can use the ready templates by SmartRepricer, created by SmartRepricer, or you can create your own, like customize as you wish. Using Ready templates, it's pretty simple. You can just select your fulfillment type, FBA or FBM. These are four types of strategies focusing on different, how do you say? I mean, they all focuses on winning the buybacks, but in the short term, their goals are different. Sales Booster focuses more on sales, as it sounds, and Profit Booster is more like targets the profit. Your sales maybe less according to your like according to your profit, but like at the end of the day, you need to get the buybacks. These are all the same targeted. For example, balance and enhancer, that's more about balancing both sales and profit. It's suitable for you if you both value sales and profit at the same time, and you don't want to be so aggressive. And if you want to be aggressive, there's this aggressive lowest strategy, like directly targets the lowest price in the market. So you can just select one of them and continue.
So these are all kind of built-in strategies, so you don't have to go and kind of think it through that much yourself. It's already programmed in there. So you can
Yes,
kind of
exactly,
choose, like,
exactly.
it's almost like a
Hmm.
market. What kind of market are you,
Yes,
risky
yes.
or not risky?
Exactly. They are just AI made. So you just select it according to your fulfillment type and like your focus, your target. And the only thing you need to do your minimum and maximum pricing. And also here you have two options. Either you can preset or you can leave SmartRepricer to do it like as an automatic way. preset is just, as I said, you can upload your own prices, or you can integrate your seller earning account if you have any, and that means kind of a preset method. Otherwise, you can just leave it to SmartRepricer, and you can select here minimum ROI amount or a fixed profit, of course, like either a percentage or a fixed amount, and that's it. And that's it. Then you can review your strategy. Oh, sorry, I need to type something as an example.
So for somebody new to repricers, this sounds like it's pretty easy to set up then if you already have the built-in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that could be even easier to start pricing if you don't have many experience. Then you can
You can
complete.
see like an overwhelming feat. Like, I don't know what to put. Like, how do I
Right.
know what the history is or what I should set it at? Like, ugh. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
that's really nice to have that built in there.
Exactly. That's just that's simple. And if we go to create your own option, yeah, that's a bit more. I mean, there are more steps here, obviously, but that gives you the control to customize your own thing. And again, there are options. Like they're all customized, but there's also this custom strategy that you can tailor everything, like exactly everything, based on your preferences. But if you select, let's say, buybacks, you can compete with the buybacks directly. Uh, there are options like per seat maintenance, again, pricing and complete. Like after pricing part, that's basically the same with the ready templates. But here you need to decide how to proceed on the way to the buybacks, and then how to in the buybacks basically. So you can set your prices, the price range here, and you can either enable or disable the like prime sellers or Amazon, or like what to do. There's no competition, you might not reprice, or you can use minimum or your maximum price. A lot of options, as you can see. And you can also create sales velocity rule here, or using maximum price when out of stock. These are really customized even with the buybacks selected strategy. You can continue, and yeah, once you win the buybacks, like what you want to do to stay in the buybacks, you can just select here. You can disable, you can raise price based on your competition or based on your own price. Let's select this. Okay, and after that it's the same process basically. Again, the preset method or automatic, let's say enter your own, and you need to name your strategy. Let's say new strategy.
Oh, so you can set up multiple strategies, or is it just?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you can set up multiple ones, and after that, actually, you need to assign the strategy to your listings. There are already two of them, and you need to go to marketplaces to assign the strategies like this. You can change them, by the way. You can change the strategies. You can assign here, for example, the new strategy. You can select. Yeah, this is actually very simple.
Oh, so each
And also,
marketplace can have a new strategy.
which one?
Each marketplace can have their own separate strategy then.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, you can. Like you can create like 10 of them maybe
Yeah.
for each marketplace, like 7 of them. And actually you can like adjust them based on a timeline with workflows. That's a pretty good feature of SmartRepricer too. Like that allows you to create your strategies and arrange them on a time range or a specific occurrence. Like for example, in the peak season, you can have a separate strategy. You can have a different one for Black Friday, different strategy for New Year's Eve, for example. You can prepare them in advance and adjust them on a timeline. Like for example, that's something. I think that's something very, yes. So for example, like Tuesdays, let's say. hmm, Yeah, you can add filters here. You can filter by marketplace or strategy or by SKU. You can just customize all of them. Let's not save here. And you can add actions, like you can pause repricing at noon, for instance, or you can start performing a strategy at midnight. It's totally up to you, and it gives you this full freedom and control for different periods of time during a year. And you can just I didn't select anything. Say SQ requires anyways.
You know, Smart
So this is
Repricer is included with seller running. Is that correct? Am I saying that right?
Yes.
All right. Because we had a question about it being
Exactly.
included with TA, and it isn't included with TA, but it is included for seller running.
Yes, on the seller running, yes, not in TA, on the seller running integration
Okay.
right now.
And just as a quick note, Beryl, do you just want to guess a quick oversight about what seller running is? Just so if we're saying that Smart Repricer is included, just a little, and then we'll go back over to Jeff. But
Sure. Yeah. So seller running is a dropshipping software. It's an Amazon compliant dropshipping software. It gives you the freedom to search your products based on your filters very quickly, and then add them to your inventory and process their shipment like very quickly. It also, like, the special part of seller running is the Amazon compliance, actually, because Amazon recently has approved the seller running is a Amazon compliant dropshipping tool. It requires using a warehouse, but that's the safest way not to be suspended. It prevents you from suspension, actually, because it's the safest way. You use the warehouse, you own your products, and you play it safe. That's a good part of seller running. I would like to emphasize that again. And the SmartRepricer is they have their integration together. And also another point, seller running has its repricer too, like apart from SmartRepricer. If you are using SmartRepricer, you need to deactivate the seller running repricer. That's a detail. And again, if you are using the seller running repricer, you can't basically use the SmartRepricer repricer. That's a detail too.
all right, thank you. Thanks for that quick oversight. Just so
Yeah, that was great.
I knows what that is.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, and do you have anything else to add on Smart Repricer? Otherwise, I think we go over to Jeff and talk a little bit more about getting those shipments in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all for SmartRepricer.
Okay.
Yeah, over to you.
All right, and if anybody has
Thank
any
you.
questions, feel free to please drop them in the chat so we can continue to answer them. If there's anything that you want to discuss in the Q&A too, make sure to drop us a message. All right, Jeff, over to you.
All right. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. So this is the, when you log in, this is Stratify. It's our desktop application, or web application, I guess, is more appropriate because you don't have to download anything. It's right off the web. So this is kind of where all the work goes on, is on this list page. It's under the menu here, list and prep. And you can see we have batches here with products in them on the left. And it shows your shipments as well into this. And this is our test account, so you'll see a lot of activity here. But you start by creating a new batch by clicking here, set your address up. And this is where we talked previously about a buy list or a CSV file. You can, if you have your own CSV file, you can upload it. Doesn't matter what format, as long as it's a CSV, it doesn't matter what information you have. You just select the file and then you match it up to the parameters that we have, such as ASIN, those sorts of things. You can also just select a buy list here that's in your Scoutify app. So I could click here and then it would let me pick one of the buy lists that I've created with that. The thing that you can do with these batches, you can create batches for FBA or MFN. If you're going to sell merchant fulfilled, create a merchant fulfilled batch, which is MFN. And then as soon as you send the feeds to Amazon from this batch, then your products will be live and ready to sell shortly after. Also, you can use feeds, like I mentioned. You can also send box contents with 2D barcodes. That seems to be popular. There's pros and cons to that. And if you click here, you'll get that information. But you can also have it off. So if you want to keep track of your buy costs, through InventoryLab so that your profitability reports and your sales pages have all that information. You can still do that in List, turn box contents off through us, and then upload that file to Seller Central. So there's a lot of flexibility. You've got all kinds of different ways to do this. And we also let you allow you to do small parcel delivery, or if you're sending pallets, you can also set your batch for less than a truckload or LTL shipments. As far as repricers go, you can capture min-max preferences if you'd like. You can send those to Amazon, or you can just store them in InventoryLab to export in case you want to upload that to your repricer. But that's basically how you create a batch. And then once it's created, it sits over here. And it's very simple to send in a product. All I have to do is have an ASIN, a FN SKU. I can scan the UPC if I have a barcode scanner. I can scan that, and it'll put that right in here, and we'll search for it. We'd mentioned also, Julie, you and I were talking about unlisted inventory. If I do have products on unlisted inventory, I can change the search parameter to include that unlisted inventory page, so that if I wanted to make sure that I'm, maybe I've got so much stuff in unlisted that I might forget what's there, I can have this remind me with a search. So I could turn that on and it would let me see what I have in unlisted, if anything. But if you're just searching, or if you don't use the unlisted inventory page, then it's quicker, more efficient just to select Amazon catalog. So for example, I've got an ASIN I'm just going to search for here. Once I search for that ASIN, it's going to bring up the product details. And this is directly from the Amazon catalog. And so what you're getting is the listing that's there. If you need to create a listing on Amazon, then you need to do that first before you could actually create it. Now, this brings up this product we've sent in before. And so it's asking, hey, do you want to replenish this? Meaning, do you want to send more of the same, use the same MSKU? And so that's that connection between your inventory and then the list process. It allows you to keep using that same MSKU, which is important to keep your profitability reports, valid and more accurate. So I'm just going to go ahead and replenish that. If it wasn't an item in my inventory, it would pop up this screen here, and then I can sell these items. So there's just some basic information. That's the link to the listing. I could click that and go right to Amazon. It gives you off to the right the offers on Amazon, and also let you know that this is the price with the buy box, and we believe Amazon is the seller on it. It's a new item. And this column here to the left is for merchant fulfilled pricing. It's very simple. You just put in your quantity here, and then I can put in my buy cost. And if I've already filled it in and I have this option to fill in from the last entry, it's going to fill that in automatically for me. I can also just type over it. Maybe I only spent $1 for those. That'd be a great price if I could get them for that, I'm sure. So, but for purchase date, it'll fill in the last date as long as you have that set up on settings, or you can just click for today, put your supplier in. If it has an expiration date, you'd want to click the eyeball and then put that in. This one doesn't. And then shipping rate is what it costs you to ship to Amazon. So you'll want to take your average of several shipments that you've sent to Amazon, take how much they cost to send in, and then total how much they weighed, and divide the cost by the weight. That'll give you an average, and this may change over time. So you want to do that periodically so that you've got an accurate estimating per pound. What that does, it doesn't keep track of it anywhere except when you're estimating your net profit, which is over here. So we're using your estimated shipping of this product as well as the fees that Amazon charges you to figure out your net profit per unit if you sell it at this $29.88 price. And now that's just set to fill in again from my settings that I have set up, but I could just type over that if I'd like. But if I see something else I want to choose from up here, I can just click on it, fill it right in. This also has the original list price from when I sold it before, or when I listed it the last time. And then there's some research tools here that we could use to check. Some of these are for restrictions on it to check and see if you're restricted. But now what we've done, we've left those in from the last variation. But with this, we also have some alerts that'll pop up if you're restricted from selling it. So for example, I'm just going to cancel that out. Let's say I want to sell folders. And now I'm just putting in the title, so I'm going to get a lot of different variations. But you can see that if I wanted to sell this one, for example, there's some restrictions. And I can click right here to find out what the alerts are. Amazon has restricted this, so I'm not allowed to sell this, at all. I can click right here, though, to go right to Seller Central and get approval, or try to get approval, I guess is more appropriate.
And you can do that in TA too, just as a side note, which
okay.
highly recommend using that approach. I know a lot of people in TA like to use the filters to remove any restricted items, but
right.
They're so tight on the restrictions, and there's a lot of things you can get automatic approval on. So at
Yeah,
least when
exactly.
you're starting out, it's good to go through that list and like use it in InventoryLab or use it in TA and go in and see if you can get approved rather than, not checking any of those items at all, just because they leave it really closed up, it feels like at the beginning, especially.
Yeah, that's a great point because like you said, they do a lot of auto ungating. Like in our test account, we'll test things and we'll just click here. Oh, what's the alert? Okay. And I'm just going to request approval and it'll take me right to that page in Seller Central. And a lot of times it is, like you said, ungated. You can just answer a couple questions and now you can sell the product. So you're really missing an opportunity if you don't use those alerts as opportunities in InventoryLab as well as TA. So, but that's kind of how it looks if it is
wants to know if
restricted.
you have any Roadhouse references, Jeff. I'm pretty sure that one's geared towards you. Just not to interrupt your flow, but
Any yeah. If you look, see how the camera. There's our heroes from Roadhouse right here. So,
sorry,
Wade Garrett and Dalton ready to fight, kick those troublemakers out of the bar. So, yeah. Thanks for the shout out to Roadhouse. So, yeah, so that's basically how you'd list. And then once you've listed items, it's got a batch set up here that kind of shows you after you've created your shipments through us, then you can then assign box contents. And, in quarter four, it's all about efficiency. You can list quicker. Those labels, I forgot to mention that. You can also, if you have it set up on your settings page, that for printing, you can set up Zebra, Brother, Rollo, Dymo printers so that as you add items to the batch, like for example here, that'll print out the exact number of labels you need so you can put those right on your products.
That's so good. That takes time.
Yeah. So you can still do it in Seller Central with the 30 ups, even if you use us, but it's so much more efficient to do those, get the thermal label printer, and it'll save you a lot of time and it's well worth it, I think. So, you're on box contents. This is also where you improve your efficiency and save time. It's all about saving time in quarter four. So if you want to pack these up, you can, if they'll all fit in a box, or you want to, if we had multiple items here, I could just select the item and assign it to a box and it would let me assign those. This one, there's too many to assign to just one box, but it's pretty simple. I just click here and then let's say I put in 10. And so now I know I've got 10 in a box. So what it does is it assigns it to the first box. And something handy is if I know that each box is going to have 10, I can just copy the box by clicking on the tool icon. So if I copy the box, it's going to say, hey, there's 4 copies of this box that we could make for you because that's how many you have left. And I could say, okay. And then we'll copy each box. And now your box contents is done basically for that shipment. You can also do them individually. If you have multiple items, like I said, you can create new boxes by clicking here and add to those. And, any way you'd like to pack up those boxes, you can do with our box contents. We also provide some information as you're doing the box contents. We'll give you the estimated weight of the box. We always encourage people to make sure you weigh them before you actually enter that in the shipping process. But This gives you a general idea of the weight so that you don't go over and hit that 50-pound limit. And we also put the cost value and the list price value, and that's for customs purposes. We have a lot of Canadian sellers, and so to get them into the U.S. marketplace, they needed to know those values for customs, and so we've added that. So
that definitely helps to, if you want to sell across marketplaces then.
Right.
As well.
I'm not sure about the other marketplaces. I know it's Canada, but I would assume that you're going to have to list the value to send it to any from any other country into the U.S. marketplace. So you can also just show the M SKU if you don't want to show the FN SKU. It's just flexible there. And then there's some other tools. I keep clicking the wrong thing. I can clear a box or copy a box if I just want to copy one. I can also print a packing list. I can print it with an image or without an image. That helps if you're trying to prove to Amazon what you put in the box in case there's a discrepancy. And another way to do that is also going to the inbound shipping page. You can go here, and each shipment they use our application to create box contents. You can click here and it'll generate a PDF of that box contents. So to show you what's in each box. So that's handy.
It could be a good discussion for maybe coming into the new year about how to get your money back for items that Amazon overcharges you for or loses.
Right.
It to and being able to use InventoryLab to prove what you actually sent in.
Yeah, there's a lot of resources that you can use, like you mentioned, after the first of the year. You're going to get returns. If you sell on Amazon, you're going to get returns. And so we do have some other reports we probably don't have time to go into now, but there's also some reimbursements, refunds that we track, those sorts of things as far as the accounting process for this. And so we can go into, here's the unlisted inventory page we talked about. And so these items are just kept track of on this page. They're not on Amazon. Amazon has no knowledge of these. They do have an image if you connect it to an ASIN, but you don't necessarily have to connect it to an ASIN on Amazon. If you're selling eBay stuff, you can not connect it to an Amazon ASIN and just put your own information in there. You can't put your own picture yet, but we're thinking of adding that option as well. But we give you the information you put in, the UPC, the ASIN. You can click here to copy those. And here's the tag that I was telling you about. This one's tagged Christmas. So I could come up here and just search for Christmas items. And it would just show me the items that are in unlisted inventory that are tagged for Christmas. So, and this one, for example, has bin 5. So it tells you where it's stored so you can find it. So that's just some helpful tips to keep your costs down as far as the storage, and also make it more efficient to find your items after you've purchased them, a year ago. So I easily don't forget.
And when you're going through and talking about the box contents too, and that reminded me, and because I didn't mention this again back to TA, they you have the option to send things in FBA or merchant fulfilled. And in your TA scans, you can choose that as well, whether you want the fees based upon FBA or FBM when you're going through. Okay. So especially because during the holidays, again, you go back to, and you might do some merchant fulfilled. I believe in the past, Amazon has shut that down sometimes for the holiday season, some pre-approval, but I don't think I heard that for this year. So that you can do more merchant fulfilling if you need to get something to the customer fast, have time to get it to Amazon. There's a way to get the difference of the fee calculations. And obviously you can use InventoryLab to upload that data as well.
Yeah, and if your only restriction is that it's hazmat and you're not approved to send in hazmat, well, merchant fulfill it. You can send it that way.
That's a good tip.
So, yeah, some of that stuff. And then, of course, the storage restrictions they put on, the accounts these days. You can get that information here as well. So you can view your storage limits on Amazon. You just have to input it on the settings page, and you can get warnings when you're getting close to that. And that's it's simply just going up here, hitting settings, go to your list page. And on your list page, you can really, fine tune this to make it really efficient for you. Set up an auto price, set your min and max if you'd like. Your default for box contents. So every time you create a batch, you don't have to keep setting it or resetting it. And then remember last entry, there are some things you can do to, as you list. I mentioned like the cost was already input there. You could have your cost per unit automatically be remembered. If you're replenishing an item, it's automatically going to remember your last supplier and buy costs and those sorts of things. But you can have this for other items as well. And these are the storage limits. And you can turn that on to warn you if you're getting close to the storage limit. And we won't restrict you from trying to send it in, but it's just a warning that Amazon may send back that nasty error message. So
Great.
And then we have our, the accounting features. We have the sales, merchant sales. These pages show you the transactions, the date. You can tell at a glance if you made profit on those items, what the profit percentage and ROI is. And if you want more details, you can click on the order ID itself and expand it. These are all, the eagle eyes out there might notice that these are pretty old sales but it's our test account, so we're not actually approved to sell in it. So we have to use really old data from way back. One of the real important ones, though, I'd like to mention is profitability reports. Under reports, we have 4 of those. SKU and ASIN are pretty important. You can tell pretty easily which items are most profitable for you. I can just scroll and I can sort this, and I can see that these are not profitable. And the reason some items, we just take into account the sales less refunds, because that's really going to show you the true profit of an item. If you have a lot of orders, but you also have a lot of refunds, Amazon takes a little bit from the sale, and they also take a little bit for processing a refund. So overall, if you get a certain amount of refunds, the items are not going to be profitable for you. Excuse me. So this tells you pretty quickly if these items are profitable or not. You might think you're getting a lot of sales, but this page is really helpful for you to really pinpoint the ones that are actually profitable. And one of the other reports we have that's free with, it's with your subscription or trial, you can use the velocity report. This is a basic one that'll help you find out over the last 30 days or last 7 days how many items sold, when you should replenish it, how many days are remaining without safety stock or something to remain back in Seller Central so you don't lose that buy box. You can set that up here as well. But with the Insights program that we have that's an add-on, we also have what we call the restock report. It's a high-powered velocity report, and so it gives you much more information on tracking, and also you can customize time frames. So that's something to consider if you want to really get some good information on your sales velocity. And the last thing really I want to talk about is profit and loss. Under reports, we pull all that information from your sales pages, refunds, reimbursements, all of that, and put it here onto the profit and loss page. And you can look at that stuff. You can narrow it down like that. And we also account for other income and other expenses, and you can add those in yourself if you want to put in your cell phone bills, those sorts of things, any subscriptions you might have. That's all tracked here, and it'll show up here as a line item. So you basically, at the end of the year, you can just export that and get that to your CPA or accountant.
Phew, there's a lot of data in there.
There's a lot in there. I was going to say, but if you look at TA, there's a lot to that too. When I was thinking about those filters you have, you can really narrow the focus or make it as wide as you want when you're searching for products. I mean, it's wide open.
It's wide open, and it's a good thing to keep in mind. I think, I personally, like during the holiday season, I think it's a really good idea to go wide. I mean, you can go, I guess, somewhat deep, but it's good to go wide because there's a lot of opportunities across a lot of different things, and hopefully things are going to sell fast, but it's a good chance to, work with different products and see what other kind of products, clothing, toys, home goods, sporting equipment.
Yeah, who knows? You might find that gem that you can keep selling all year.
Right,
Just
exactly. If you can try and find that replenishable. Yes, so you
Yeah.
can save yourself time later on. Exactly. Yeah. All right, well, I think that kind of wraps up. I don't know if we have any other outstanding questions. If anybody does have any last minute questions, go ahead and drop them in, and we will try and answer them here as we wrap up. Otherwise, hopefully that this is a good overview on how to use TA in order to help maximize your profits in through the holiday season, and InventoryLab on how to get it there fast. Is kind of one of the keys in here, and how you can really use that tool to help you get there fast. And SmartRepricer on how you can, I guess, make the most money as well and keep your profits without, losing the buy box and without. Oh, I have one question on without losing the buy box, and I guess kind of keeping the edge on it too. Without you don't want your profits to tank, and if there's a lot of profits or a lot of products during the holiday season, nice to have a tool where you can do that in one place or have it working for you, especially with those strategies.
Yeah.
Can TA and InventoryLab share info with each other to make a buy list? They're not directly connected right now, but that's where you could use a CSV and download and then upload into InventoryLab. Might work on an integration of something like that in the future, or if you have any feedbacks on integrations you'd like to see, we would love to hear them. You can send us
for sure.
a message at support@3colts.com, support@TacticalArbitrage.com, probably support@InventoryLab.com.
Yeah.
Let us know any suggestions on things that could make it easier for you to work across the products. We would definitely love to hear that too. Otherwise, right now it would be through the CSVs. This is my one product to the other. Downloading from TA and into inventory and uploading into InventoryLab, or downloading from InventoryLab and working into TA. If you want to reverse search those products, or if you want to create the buy list in InventoryLab and upload it quickly, that'd be the best option to work between the two right now. So if you have anything else on that, Jeff, between those two?
Yeah, I think it's really a nice feature to have between the two, and especially that reverse search, exporting from InventoryLab and then throwing it into TA and finding all of the places that you can actually source that product, because you already know it's going to be profitable for you. Maybe your supplier dried up or out of business, or for whatever reason you can't get it there. Maybe you're just looking for a better price, and that's certainly going to help do that. But
and TA does have an option, just as a side note, on its own, that it can reverse search your Seller Central inventory. It does have that built in as a feature.
Oh, okay.
As a standalone, that it can actually do that. But I think having that full functionality of InventoryLab is nice, and being able to get all that data would be awesome to have. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
If anybody has any questions later on, go ahead and drop them on the YouTube channel, and we will try and answer them as we go along. We'll try and do another one of these probably coming into the new year and talk about, again, kind of using InventoryLab to get your numbers together for accounting, using TA to find new products into the holidays. Again, because if you're looking in the last 30 days on your Keep It chart or on your sales rank, it's going to look very different than probably what you want to actually buy in January. Probably don't want to use those numbers. So we can talk a little bit more about that using the SmartRepricer. We may also talk about some of those reconciliation tools about how to get some of your profits back from Amazon overcharges or lost inventory. I think would be really useful for people to make sure that we're keeping the money.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. I guess have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.